When it comes to dubs, the only dubs I remember like enjoying like back then was like Dragon Ball Z and Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh yeah.
I think Inuyasha was one, but like I low key just hate Inuyasha now. Yeah, but as for voice, I was gonna talk about Ghost Stories because a lot of people talk about how that's one of the more iconic ones of dub because they were just free range, and it's like it's such a goofy story. Like if you watch this sub, it's very boring, but if you watch this dub, it's just like a bridge series. It's like a series, a bridge series, which is why a lot of people love it.
It's like a goofy fan dub that was professionally backed and funded, and I love it.
Yeah, I do think it does get a little bit too stale at points. Like you cannot watch it all in one sitting, type of thing. It's like, like maybe the clips, but it's just like, oh dang, okay, this is a bit too much. It's like the same thing over. It's kind of like for people who like Class of 09, it's like okay, after a while it gets boring to me. But like I do think Ghost Story has more of a better factor to it because it's like all the jokes are kind of different. It's like fill the whole hole flip. Fill.
Yeah.
It's like it's not because I can't be with you. It's not because you're a rabbit.
Not because you're a rabbit, but because you're black.
And it's just like the fact that these professional voice actors are saying this just because it's like, wait, so you made up the dialogue yourself? No one told you to say this stuff, and it's just like, wow.
His funny laugh.
Yeah.
His funny demands. Touch me. Touch me harder.
It's funny reprimand. Yeah, it's just like
Funny reprimand. Touch me harder.
I'm just like, bro, like it's just like, okay, it's just like pretty iconic stuff you could just quote. It's just like I don't know if it's controversial, but sure it's kind of funny. Like it's dark humor and satire, so it's like it works.
So good.
So
It's so much fun to watch.
for the whole I don't know why that's so funny. It's just like out of everything, that's the funny one.
It's so good. But you did talk about Full Metal Alchemist. I did watch Brotherhood, and I gotta tell you, that was an amazing dub. That was really good.
Yeah, I think a lot of them came back from the original voice from 2003. So like yeah, I don't know if you saw the original. A lot of people don't give credit to the original, but I feel like both of them have merits of in their storytelling, because the original was based off of like what they had at first, and so they made their own story after a while. So, but it does feel kind of weird to watch the original first and go to Brotherhood. But if you watch Brotherhood first, you might be able to watch I feel like you have to watch the original first though, because Brotherhood is like the first 13 episodes are the same, but then it's a whole different story. But the original is like there's filler and stuff, but the first 27 episodes or something are the same, but like it's also different. So it's like it gives off a different vibe though. So that's the only thing. So it's like so yeah.
I watched Brotherhood, but I haven't watched the original. So my experience is going straight into Brotherhood, getting a very fast introduction and being told that it's kind of expected that you watch the original series, where a lot of the upfront introduction has already been done. So they get right into it. But I actually kind of liked it because I figured out a lot of stuff along the way without having a formal introduction to a lot of the main cast.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's the first episode that's not even canon for Brotherhood, so you can legit just skip it. It kind of also just spoils everything. The first episode of Brotherhood. No, it really doesn't. Though. You're like, wait a second. Because like some of that stuff is like meant to not be shown until later on in the original, and then in Brotherhood it's like episode 1, not even canon. Time to spoil half the stuff that was built up. You're like, what?
I need to rewatch Brotherhood to see if I can pick that out.
You just gotta watch episode 1 back to back of original versus Brotherhood. Like, this is compare and contrast episode 1, episode 2.
I think one of the most annoying things that I've had happen to me is when you leave a game on the title screen for too long and they play a cinematic movie to stop screen freeze or whatever. Sometimes in that trailer or pre-rendered movie they play, they spoil parts of the story. Like, they expected you to have already played the game. Fire Emblem 3 Houses did that to me, and that makes me so upset.
You know what did that? Sword Art or Gun Online. Sword Art. You're like, this just spoiled the whole plot. You're like, why am I gonna watch this show? I was just like, why am I gonna watch this? The whole plot has been ruined for me at this point.
Oh man.
A lot of animes does that. And it's just like, like a lot of it is like Easter eggs, but a lot of animes just straight up spoil the plot. It's like, okay, so why am I gonna watch this now? I'm like, I don't want to watch this anymore.
It's just, why would you do that? Or when the intro to a show changes from one season to the next, and in the splash at the end of the intro is a whole bunch of villain characters that are now standing with the heroes. Like, I guess they're going to have a heel turn some point in this season. Thank you. Dragon Ball Z did that to me. I'm watching Dragon Ball Z right now for the first time ever, and I saw the change in intro where Vegeta is standing with what they now call the Z Fighters. And it's okay, I guess Vegeta is just gonna be a hero in this season now.
But a lot of people love Vegeta, so it doesn't matter.
I'm still very early Vegeta where his pride is ruining everything.
The Sand Race! Must protect the Sand Race. Are you in the Frieza saga right now?
I just started. The Cell games are about to begin.
Oh dang, yeah, you still. Vegeta's very complicated, but you end up probably liking him more than Goku by the end of things. Honestly, that's like. I'm sure, but right now he's just ruining everything for the sake of his pride, and that bugs me. The Sand Race!
It's that meme, it's like, big tall book if something didn't happen, or very small book if thing did happen. It's like, the size of Dragon Ball Z could be the size of Kai if Vegeta just put aside his pride for half a second. It didn't endanger the world to prove a point.
How come you decide to watch Z instead of Kai?
I watched a few weeks ago. I finished the original Dragon Ball, and I thought, I'm just going to enjoy this as if I were a kid watching it for the first time, like a lot of people did before Kai released. I want the full Monty, the full Gambit. I want to see the start to finish with all filler exactly as it was aired on TV originally. So I just started watching the full 291 episode set of Dragon Ball Z because I want to see it. I kind of want the filler. I want to see what's drawn out. And eventually I want to watch Kai to see what changed. Eventually.
Oh my! But then you gotta go to GT, and then you gotta go to Super.
GT is good.
You heard it's good?
I've heard GT is good.
I don't know who's been telling you that. A lot of people hate GT.
I guess I'm gonna find out.
Guess you're gonna find out. You're so new to the experience.
I'm baby.
What is your favorite voice to do?
My favorite voice? Occasionally I like to do something silly. Like, I'm a eccentric shopkeep in another project. We're just like, thank you, come again! Or, I do a couple of really quiet raspy, like, so, you came to me alone. You must be really desperate. I like doing low energy stuff because I can do it for longer, but I think my favorite to do is one that's very much just my register. It's basically just my voice in a role that I can really get into. because if I can make the character feel natural to me, I feel like I can lend a lot more to it. If it's like Vegeta, I feel like I have to really play a role and dig into it, which I don't know how long I can do for long lengths at a time. But no, I like roles that I can really identify with or just slip into with my energy that I'm feeling in the moment. Kind of like how Tanner was for me, because I feel like I could just be myself and be Tanner in doing so. But of course, I do like the very off the wall thing from time to time.
Do you think you should give Tanner a softer, deeper, any different type of voice?
I wanted to do something stronger, like the Big Brotherly type, but when I was recording, it was, you know, when I was asked to do it late at night, I didn't really have the energy to lay into it hard, so I just downed some water, thought, okay, well, this is a short turnaround time, let's see what we can do. And it just kind of slid into my normal speaking voice, carried it throughout, and said, hey, is this good enough? Is this what you want? He's like, congratulations, you're Tanner Hawkins. Yes!
Yes! Yes! Definitely, because we didn't have no other choices. Yes!
I win by default, baby! Let's go!
Let's go! And win is a win, as Tanner would say. Win is a win.
A win is a win, baby!
Let's go!
If I was asked to redo all of Tanner with some sort of new delivery, I would, because the character deserves the love that it deserves.
Okay, redo all his voice in a macho voice.
You got it.
You got it. You got it, dude. You got it.
I try to do that deep Roger Craig Smith, Chris Redfield delivery.
You gotta go with Jason Griffin. Or you gotta go with Ryan Drummond as he is now, not back then, but the Sonic he is now. There's this he does this Sonic I'll call it a visual novel because it's like a fan project, and his voice is like 10 times deeper than it originally was. He's like, hey Tails. I'm like, that ain't Ryan. I was like, he used to be like, hey Tails, and now he's like, hey Tails. I'm like, bro, what? I'm like,
man.
Bro just dropped like 20 years. He's like, it looks like I'm in my 40s now. I'm just like, okay, Sonic. Oh my goodness. Well, this is the most iconic moment you think you have, or like, even if it's not in the game, like for Tanner. I know you talked about the no, but is there something that you think was even better than
no?
No! You think there's something even better than that?
Something even better. Man, my first thought comes to Boys Night Out, which was not released. Because I'm thinking, like, we're asking to go to the bar and say, I'm ready to get wasted! Like, I did so many takes with that, and Rolando came back and said, you peaked your mic on like half these takes. I can't use them. Thought, oh no, I'm so sad. So we had to use a really low take for that, but then it got scrapped and never used anyway. Just, I'm ready to get wasted! But when he comes back from the bathroom, he's like, yo, I just got a number from a very hot chick.
Yeehaw!
If I can't have Layla, I'd like to give a good smashing to. I think my widest range with Tanner is in Boys Night Out, and I'm so sad. Because that leads into major characters being able to interact with each other, because Ethan and Damien don't interact much at all, but they do in Boys Night Out briefly with Silver.